Hello everyone, I'm Rida Fatma from Pakistan and I'm a graduate of biosciences and an aspiring astrobiologist. So today I will talk about my plans for designing and managing a greenhouse on Mars. So let's begin. Starting from the internal design. Okay, so the greenhouse will be inflatable and deployable, and the plants grown inside the greenhouse they will produce food and oxygen for the astronauts, and in return, the astronauts' fecal waste and carbon dioxide will be used by the plants as fertilizers and also to complete the photosynthesis. So plants will play an important role in letting the humans explore destinations like Mars and Moon. And they will provide food, oxygen, and even good cheer to astronauts who are far away from home. Other than that, according to the psychologists, the green space can also protect against mood disorders, depressions, and neurotic behaviors, and even stress-related issues. So this is my internal design of the first floor. Here you can see I have taken the scale 1 foot is equal to 1 centimeter, and the boundary wall will be 8 inches, and inside walls are 2 inches. We have a store here. We have kitchen and dining. I have added all the measurements. Gym, discussion room, then reading area for relaxation. Then this is the entrance, and the stairs are here. Then there are 4 beds and toilets and baths. So the second floor. Okay, so the second floor will be the workplace, and here you can see the power and battery storage room. Then we have the computer monitoring room to record and monitor the activities of greenhouse. Then this is the 3D printing room for printing any useful spare parts of any machines if needed. Then this room will be for the composting and preparing the biofertilizers, because the combination of microorganisms with compost act as a good biofertilizer, which improves the fertility of soil and it also increases the plant growth. Other than that, a microbiology lab is also very important because we will be needing microbes for growing plants and preparing the food, preparing plant food. So regular microbial analysis will also be done to check if everything is going fine at the molecular level. Then a testing area is there for different research and test purpose. So we will be using different robots and machines in the greenhouse as well. And for this purpose, here at the bottom, we have a technical lab for machinery and robots. Then these are the stairs. Then now the third floor. Okay, so the third floor will be for the proper working of the aquaponic system, and there is a room for water tank and irrigation system on the irrigation system management. Then next to that is the area where vertical plant beds are kept under the RGB lighting system, and aquaponic monitoring lab will also be there, which will have the access to all the activities happening specifically in the third floor where the plants are growing, where there are plants. So aquaponics can also be done without the fish, but if we are using fish, then we will require the fish tank. Then the applied technology. Okay, so the dehumidifier and thermostat will be needed to maintain the humidity and maintain the temperature. Then system for carbon dioxide generation and distribution is also needed for plants. LED lighting is required. The violet blue light promotes the adult plant growth, and the red light will promote the plant budding. So radiation protection system is also needed, of course, and for that we will talk about in detail about the silica aerogel greenhouse shield. Robotic arms are required for the plant monitoring, and the sensors are needed for fire or smoke alarming situations, and for gas monitoring to check if oxygen and carbon dioxide amount or quantity is limited in the atmosphere. Then camera and automated system is required to monitor the activities of greenhouse, such as monitoring of pressure and plant growth, etc. Then biology, wet lab equipment for soil and plant testing and survival assessment is required to check if the DNA is being replicated fine, or if there is any, in case there is any mutation or disease in the plant. So for this purpose, we will require a fume hood and incubator for the biology wet lab. So fume hood will be basically needed in the microbiology lab for culturing of microbes and to prevent the release of harmful microbes into the greenhouse. Then incubator. So we know that incubator, it is an insulated and enclosed device that provides an optimal condition of temperature, of humidity, and all other environmental conditions that are required for the growth of microorganisms. Then communication system is required to stay connected with other stations, and irrigation system for plant water management and aquaponics, of course. Now, the possible resources to generate in situ or transported from Earth. So seeds of different plants will be taken from Earth. Then for aquaponics through fish, if we are using aquaponics through fish, then we will require fertilized fish eggs which can be grown to full size. For example, herbivorous fish like tilapia, it can eat the plant scraps from the hydroponic system that aren't suitable for humans. Tilapia is also the best fish for aquaponics because they can adapt to their environment and withstand less than ideal water conditions. And then for aquaponics, if we are doing aquaponics without fish, then we have to take liquid ammonia with us from Earth. So the fertilizers from fertilizers from human waste and food scraps can be generated on Mars. Then finally, the quantity of solar energy available to heat a greenhouse can be increased by the use of solar collectors when direct sunlight is available. So for this purpose, we also have to take solar collectors or solar panels with us from Earth. Then lab equipment, I've already mentioned the fume hood and incubator. Then we can also take chemicals like agar, broth, or TSA, which is a tryptic soy agar. These chemicals are needed for the these chemicals are needed for the plant growth in bacterial growth in the microbiology lab. Silica aerosol, we will talk about it in next slide. Then of course computers and cameras, then water testing kits and aquaponics system materials are also used. Now the silica aerosol greenhouse shield. So the researchers at the Harvard University, they have created a way to terraform Mars by placing sheets of silica aerosol on the Mars surface, which would warm it up to make it suitable for growing plants. So the silica aerosol greenhouse shields, they can transform the surface of Mars so that it could be suitable for farming. And we already know that the surface of Mars, it has low temperature and it has a high ultraviolet radiation levels. So basically, the system is intended as a simple way to warm the ground, to melt the ice, and to make it suitable for a suitable environment for the plant. And other than that, it could transmit enough light for photosynthesis. It can block the harmful UV radiation, and it can raise temperature. Now the management. So the organizational structure, we will need botanist who also has a very good knowledge about aquaponics, and an engineer, a biologist, and a researcher. So the botanist will he will monitor the plants and aquaponics and hydroponic system, and he will also collect the samples to check the bacterial growth and plant nutrient analysis, and he will be in charge of garden cultivation and management. Then the biologist, he must be an expert in bioinformatics, in microbiology and biotechnology. He must have a good knowledge regarding the wet lab techniques as well, and how to identify and if plants are having any disease or mutations in them. Then the engineer will be in charge of handling and monitoring the machinery, the boards of the greenhouse. He will be doing the 3D printing work as well, and also taking care of the irrigation system. And finally, the researcher, he must be an innovative scientist who can work on finding new methods and technologies, and he will also help the biologist in testing lab to work on the wet lab technique. So astronaut training program. So the astronaut, they should have a proper first aid training, and they should have this critical thinking and analysis abilities so that it is easy for them to tackle the hard situations and they don't panic in if the situation gets any hard or tough. Problem solving and decision making abilities should also be in them. And finally, the psychological skills training program is also very important for them, for the astronauts, because this training program is designed to improve the mental health, such as self-confidence, motivation, and the ability to relax under great pressure, and even the ability to concentrate on their work. So YouTube videos to train astronauts. So these are some of the important YouTube videos that I found. We have the vertical farm ideas and greenhouse 3D model. There was aquaponics on Mars, silica aerogel. This video will give more details on the silica aerogel greenhouse shield. Inflatable Mars habitat, and of course the astronaut training documentary, 50 minutes documentary on astronaut training. So the guidelines to be provided to other facilities or host stations. So it is important to follow the lab protocols for your own safety and to protect the plants from any contamination. So for this, informed arrivals is very important, especially in the microbiology lab, where the work on microbes is going on in a very closed environment. Then a positive work environment is important. We must stay connected with others and with all the other stations and train for, there should be a proper training for emergency or failure situations, and first aid practices is important for every person that is who is present on in all the stations. So growing food, we should also grow food outside the greenhouse in all stations in case of any lockdown situations. Then every station should prepare weekly reports regarding all the events that took place on their stations. Now the protocols. So these are some of the daily routine protocols. Start the day by sanitizing the work area, and examination of the machinery and aquaponics system is very important to check if everything is going fine, if the machines are working well, if the plants are growing well, in case there is any disease or mutation occurring in them. That's why the regular sampling is also very important. And divide the workload within the team so that no one gets overburdened, and stay focused and determined to achieve your goals, to achieve your objective. And this is the most important thing. Okay. So some ideas to keep the crew of your facility safe. Well, I believe that there should be regular safety drills and training so that no one panics if anything happens, like in case any emergency situation occurs, so no one will panic if there are regular safety drills or training programs. Stay prepared for any emergency situation, and weekly sessions to stay connected with each other and with other station members. It is also important. And make sure that plants, seeds, and all other machinery and procedures are safely handled and performed. Clean the work area, and finally clean the work area properly to stay safe from harmful microbes. So these are some of the entertaining ideas that I have collected. Board games are easy and feasible to take from Earth. Event celebrations like birthdays or New Year celebration, and I think we should also take care about if a crew member is having a specific his own cultural event, then all the other members of the station, they should celebrate that event for him so that he won't get any more homesick or like that. Small indoor games can also be played there. Weekly or monthly lunch or dinner get together of all the station members is also important to share laughter and to share their feelings and everything. Video games, if feasible, if we can easily take them from Earth, like everything. Yoga or gym classes for mental relaxation, it is also very important. Now, protocols for 3D printing. So we can make vertical garden tools or vertical beds from 3D printing, and wet lab tools like the Appendar cubes or the beakers or flasks. These kind of little things, they can be prepared from the 3D printing. Kitchen utensils can be prepared, and machine spare parts they can also be prepared through 3D printing. Technologies and output that could be applied to Earth. Vertical gardens They can be applied to earth. It is actually a very excellent idea because it provides more food production in very less space or area. Robotic arms, they can be used to reduce the workforce, and the silica aerosol for radiation protection. This can also be applied to earth in the workplaces where radiation protection is very important or crucial. Growing plants in extreme conditions, we can also copy that method here on earth as well to grow plant in extreme conditions. Then of course careful consumption of water and other resources. We can copy the waste management and waste recycling methods that we are using on Mars, and food preservation and food storage also. Guideline to be applied to the daily life on Mars. So I think small vertical gardens, it is actually a very great idea. If a house it doesn't have any much space for kitchen garden or gardening, then we can use small vertical gardens there. And aquaponics for kitchen garden, it is also a very it is a fun activity that we can use at home as well for the kitchen garden, for growing kitchen plants and that. Most important, don't take the natural resources of earth for granted, because now we realize that we are blessed with so much on earth. We can walk freely under the sky, and we can breathe in open air, and we can use water, how much water we want, we can use it. And so we should not take the natural resources of earth for granted. There should be education and awareness regarding new and daily scientific research that is happening in the world. And finally, impact to sustainable developmental goals. So less resources and more food, as it follows the SDG 2, no hunger, and good health can be monitored via the sanitized crop production. It follows the SDG 3. Then sanitary conditions are well examined for the health of astronauts and plants. It follows the SDG 6, and careful water consumption, SDG 6 and 12 as well. Then solar and wind energy consumption is environment friendly, follows SDG 7 and 12. So these are the references, and this was my personal contact and social media if anyone wants to get connected. And thank you so much. That's all from my side.